everyone, and welcome to this edition of Stream On. I'm Jim Williams, your host, and today, we have a very special show for you. You know, wrestling was a very big part of my life, and growing up as a kid in Tampa, Florida, there wasn't any professional sports. I mean, the closest professional sports to us was down in Miami with the Miami Dolphins, but we definitely watched wrestling and we loved it. It was championship wrestling from Florida. It was the good guys. It was bad guys. It was an amazing time. It also was an opportunity to meet people who became part of the community, and the wrestlers transcended just what went on in the ring. We got to meet them. We got to know them as people and as families. And as you all know, in my career, I have done everything from the Olympics to World Cup, and as a producer, director, God knows how many NFL, NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, you name it, I've done it, and including a 2-year stint as the director of Championship Wrestling for Florida with the aforementioned Gordon Soley. I got to see behind the ropes and see these people for who they are and who they were. And they were family people, and they were very dedicated to family. As we said at the top, wrestling is, in many ways, a passion. And that is truly what you find when you begin to watch, and hopefully you'll catch it this Sunday night, but if not, on Starz on Demand, you can get it. And it is called Heels. Heels is a magnificently done, true-to-life wrestling program that captures all the interesting and intricate aspects of wrestling as a business, as well as the amazing ties within family that it takes. Now, it's a much anticipated launch for Heels. I mean, it's something that I know Starz fans and wrestling fans have been waiting for a while, and it is here. It stars Stephen Amell, who we all know from The Arrow, Oliver Queen. He plays Jack Spade. His brother is played by Alexander Ludwig. We know him from the Hunger Games. And he's Ace. So you got Jack Spade and Ace Spade. Now they are sons of a man who created a small but successful wrestling enterprise in the state of Georgia. They're trying to keep the family tradition going while it being more of a part-time job that they hope will eventually become a full-time job. And they're hoping that they can take their band of wrestlers and take them to the next level. Well, as is the case along the way, brothers don't always get along. And Ace wants to get to the top faster than his brother Jack seems to want to go. So that sets the backdrop for some pretty interesting wrestling, as well as some really in-depth family personal issues. It's a full complement show, folks. It's action, it's fun, and it is drama all in the same show. Now, our guest today is producer Mike O'Malley. Now, we all know Mike from his work both in front of the camera and behind the camera. He's the showrunner and executive producer on Heels. He also shows up from time to time as a character in the show. Mike, thanks for being with us. You know, I have to say that I saw the first episode, and it is really true to form. It's authentic, and it really gives us an idea of what it's like to be involved in wrestling, as well as the dynamics that come with the family. Well done, and I got to believe that this is going to be a hit.
Well, I appreciate you watching the first episode, and I thank you for saying that. I hope they send you more episodes. I'm very, very proud of this show and proud of the work that everybody from the cast and the crew has done on this.
You know, one of the things too that is really good about the program is it's got that whole family dynamic in there as well. You know,
Mhm.
you've got Stephen with his situation with his wife and his brother, and you've got Mary McCormick. I mean, there's a lot of layers to the program.
Yes, I think that you know what everyone comes from a family.
Sure.
And so no matter how big or small that family is, or the relationships, whether you want to get away from that family or stay close to that family physically or emotionally, I think that everyone understands what it is like when there is a stress or trauma or discontent amongst family members. It's like you almost can't focus. It's
Hmm.
always a thing that's going on in your mind. And so I think that, whereas some friendships wax and wane,
Hmm.
and some people are good at a certain point of your life, and then you just, you move on. I actually try to, retain as many friendships as I can as I move on, but just, you know, time and distance puts people away from one another. With family, they're always the ones you think about at birthdays, at holidays, at signature moments in your life. And so I think that everyone relates to that. So when you're actually doing a family story and you're talking about a brother, a sister, a mother, a father, a cousin, a grandmother, a nephew, a son, daughter, um, you're putting yourself in the character's shoes and thinking, oh, how would I be? How would I relate if that was my father, mother, son, daughter, wife, husband, what have you?
You know, you also nailed the wrestling business, which, growing up in Florida and being part of that whole championship wrestling from Florida situation, you look at it, and later in my career, I got to direct championship wrestling from Florida.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
and it's fun because you really guys, you got a very good deal of that whole how the fans really are into it, they're invested in it, and also on the other side, how the wrestlers themselves are, brothers in arms in many ways.
Well, thank you. I think that, what we wanted to honor was the hard work that goes into it.
Hmm.
And if there is hard work, then the fans they will reward you because they are witnessing a live stunt performance that, yes, it's choreographed, but it's like when you go see a Broadway show or you go see a musical, they still
Right.
got to sing the notes. They still got to dance the steps. And if they don't dance the steps well, you're like, that's terrible. And if they dance them really well, you're like, oh my God, I just saw this high school play and the kids were incredible. And the choreography was unbelievable. And when we feel and see something great, we can't wait to tell other people about it. And we love sharing that.
Hmm.
And, the live performance of this, the idea that, people are coming together in a room and witness something live together. It doesn't matter how much wrestling you watch on television. If you see it live in person, that they weren't cheating anything. You know that they weren't cutting away and putting in something new. You saw it.
You also have the situation where these guys are athletes because when they come off of the top rope, they better know where they're going to land because if they don't, they will definitely hurt not only themselves but the person they're not supposed to hurt.
Right. I mean, you know this from directing. James Harrison was talking about this. Um, the difference between professional wrestling and football is in football, the guy that you're trying to tackle is not trying to help you tackle him.
Right.
In wrestling, James Harrison was talking about this. Everything that you're doing, you're trying to help the other performer.
Right.
You're trying to make it seem and portray as if there's conflict here, but there's a dance that's going on there
Right.
that is, a give and take.
And even in the first episode, I mean, you get the opportunity to realize that the heel is not always the bad guy.
Right. And just like you know, Anthony Hopkins plays Hannibal Lecter. He's not a terrible guy in real life eating people. What we marvel at is that we're able to see a story about a villain. We're able to see a story about a character who is a hero, solving a crime, in certainly in Silence of the Lambs. And, this person helps this young woman become victorious, even though he's a terrible human being. I think because the world and existence is so absurd, I think because we look out and we don't understand the absurdity of our existence, when people die, how they die, why they die. Why does some person get, struck by lightning or a terrible death? Why, look at COVID. Why are some people being impacted? It's like the angel of death visits some houses and not others. This is very hard to compute with a rational brain, where you're able to say, oh, I understand the rules here. If you're a good person, you're rewarded. And you go to heaven. If you're a bad person, you suffer the comeuppance and the consequences, and you go to hell. That's not the truth. It's not what happens, but we still wish it would happen that way. It's like Jack says, people want to believe that they can be better. Mm-hmm. And that's why they need to see good guys and bad guys, because we need to see the good guys get rewarded for being good, because that's how we want to build our society. And we want the bad guys to get their comeuppance, because we believe behaving selfishly or badly or, in sinister ways should be punished. And so if we're not seeing it in the real, if the politician doesn't get punished, if the, cheating athlete doesn't get punished, gosh, that aggravates us. And so at least with wrestling, we can actually see it happen. Gosh, see, he got what was coming to him. She got what was coming to her. Thank God.
But next week, they may have the whole thing go the other way.
Well, exactly,
But all right, we're getting ready to wrap up here, and greatly appreciate it. What are some of the things you hope people get out of Heels?
What I hope that they get out of Heels is this appreciation for the creativity and the thought and the heart that goes into independent professional wrestling. And also that we're able to honor the artistic achievements of people, even though they're not number one at the box office or the highest grossing show, just to recognize and be reminded that in your town, in your small town, in towns everywhere, people are trying to express themselves creatively. And if we encourage artists, and not to say we should embrace art that's terrible, that you don't respond to, but it makes life better. It makes us reflect on our existence differently, appreciate our existence. You say, oh, how does that happen in wrestling? Well, if you look behind the scenes and you look at the heart and the meaning that being creative is providing for all of these people, you'll think about wrestling a little bit differently.
Special thanks to Mike O'Malley, the executive producer, showrunner, and sometimes character in the Starz original Heels, which I feel, frankly, is going to be a big hit. Be sure to check out Heels on Starz Sunday night, 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific. And also you can catch it on demand on the Starz app. I have the Starz streaming app. Highly recommend. Okay? All right. We'll be back with more of Stream On right after this from BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
At BMW, we know leaving the road wasn't easy, but anticipating our return taught us to appreciate every drive. The exhilaration of the ultimate adventure. Moments spent with your favorite co-pilots. And the freedom to explore just because. Our time to rejoin the road is finally here.
Welcome back, everybody. Now, don't forget that all the information on Mike O'Malley and the gang at Heels, the Starz original that begins on Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific, is in our show box below. Okay? All right, cool. Now, if you have not become one of the over 75,000 people and growing worldwide who've joined our little happy family here. First of all, shame on you. Second of all, it's simple. It's free. You can go to the Apple Podcast Store. Go over to Google Play. You can find us at Spreaker, Stitcher, Spotify, as well as iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, and YouTube, just to name a few. Now, if you have an assistant device like Google, Alexa, or Siri, all you have to do is ask them to play the latest edition of Stream On with Jim Williams, and they will do it for you, okay? Now, if after all that you still can't find us, not a problem. Pull out the old Google machine, type in Stream On with Jim Williams, hit the favorite button or subscribe button. Every week you're going to get a brand new edition of the podcast sent directly to your phone, your tablet, or to both, okay? All right, please go out there and do that for us. We would greatly appreciate it. So what are we going to be talking and streaming about this weekend? Well, over on Netflix, as people get heading back to school, the Kissing Booth trilogy is back and definitely worth checking out. 5 Feet Apart, as well as The Edge of 17. So a lot of little teenage angst stuff going on there. Might be fun. Check it out. HBO Max continues with the blockbuster release of Suicide Squad. Saw it last week. Highly recommend. It's very campy, but it's also very, a lot of fun. So it's a summer movie. Suicide Squad, HBO Max. Check it out. Modern Love returns to Amazon Prime. It's a very well done show, and they just outdo themselves with their stars. Minnie Driver and Kit Harington will be heading up this session of Modern Love. Gotta watch. Meanwhile, Hulu boasts 2 new top shelf originals in 9 Perfect Strangers, which is the latest all-star team up between Nicole Kidman and super producer David E. Kelly. Then the other one is Only Murders in the Building, featuring Selena Gomez, Steve Martin, and Martin Short. That's an interesting combo. I'll have to check that one out. So by all means, check that out. Also, take a quick look around at Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO Max, Peacock, IDMB, Tubi, our friends at BritBox. There's plenty of good stuff going everywhere, all right? So be sure to check it all out. Now, what have you guys given us to stream over the weekend? Well, you've given us, at the top of your list, Billions. And we're getting ready to have a new session of Billions coming up very, very soon. So here's an opportunity to catch up. It can be found on Showtime. And by all means, Billions highly recommend. And if you're down there looking at Billions, you might as well take a look at a couple other outstanding series on Showtime, including Homeland. So there's a couple of ones for you. Billions is what the family here wants. So that's what we'll tell you that the family here wants. So our listeners and our folks who get in touch with us via social media, and we hope that you all do, every week we ask you what you want to binge, and you're happy to tell us. So check that out. Also, we should also point out that another one that everybody wanted, it's a Paramount Plus. It's Young Sheldon. And actually, it's quite a clever show, and you should definitely give that a shot as well. So, and if you haven't seen The Mandalorian on Disney Plus, you should jump in there. Plenty of fun stuff to stream. So please go out there, enjoy it, and hit us up next week. Let us know what we should be streaming this summer. Okay, cool. All right, for everybody here at Stream On, I'm Jim Williams saying thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful and safe weekend, and we will see you next time right here on Stream On.